Garnacho agrees personals with Napoli. Rashford, terms agreed, decision made with a twist. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen next in both of these deals, just with news and words that we said last night, especially the Garnacho one. We're going to get into all of that, all of Manchester United's news, touch on a little bit more of what was said after the press conference today and other reports around Manchester United. We're going to get into it. Slight look ahead to tomorrow's action as well and who we might expect to play. Surprising option for the wing-backs, which has been brought up and some people are reporting about as well. We're going to get into all of that, all in your evening show, a slightly earlier show tonight, so we're settling in. We're going to be watching the football later on, so we're doing an early one tonight just to make sure that we get it out of the way so everyone can get comfortable and get ready for the football. Who are we going for? Arsenal or Spurs? Do we want Arsenal to win just so we can catch Spurs in our mid-table battle? You decide. Get in the chat. Talk to me, everybody. Hello, welcome to Forever United TV. I'm Adam. This is your evening show. All of your Manchester United news in one. Completely up to date and ready to rock. I pray that there isn't anything else that comes out after this. Honestly, it is just news and updates after news and updates right now, and it's all on the same subjects. We need something concrete. We need something to actually just put our minds at ease and tell us exactly what's going on. I'm starting on Garnacho this evening. Yes, Garnacho again. The only reason we're talking about this right now is because, and before we get into all of these reports, where they're from, the sources, everything that's happening with Garnacho right now. The only reason we're still talking about this is because nobody from this side, that being in England and Manchester, is saying anything on Garnacho right now. No one's even asking the questions. Maybe in the embargoed version of the press conference, something might have been asked by the media and Ruben Amorim has touched on it or something like that. But absolutely nothing is being said regarding Garnacho and what's actually happening right now from our side. Little bits from the Daily Mail yesterday saying that Garnacho isn't for sale unless a bid comes in from somebody. Now, everyone's been saying that for weeks, and now all of a sudden that we might possibly be getting a bid from Napoli because the unthinkable has happened and Kvaratskhelia has been sold from Napoli and they've got money. Everyone's getting cold feet. Oh, hang on a minute. Well, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen with this deal because there's other things going on in the transfer market that United are not fully involved in yet, which are going to predetermine what happens to us in the market. We're going to get into that. But where is the Garnacho news coming from? What has been said? Why are we talking about this again? And what is going on with Napoli and this bid? Is it genuine? Is it real? Can we take these sources seriously? Well, let's get into what's actually happened and what's been said. And it's come from a big Italian source. Again, like all of the news around Garnacho. And like we said before, you take it with whatever you want in terms of how you want to spice up your food. A pinch of whatever when it comes to Italian sources. Not saying that they're bad and they're false. Obviously, they're well connected. But it just seems to be everything about United is from that side at the moment. And the report reads, Napoli have struck an agreement in principle with Garnacho after the club's sporting director Giovanni Manno met the representatives in Barcelona this week. We knew that already. Garnacho's camp is said to have immediately made it clear that he is tempted by the prospect of working with Antonio Conte in Naples. So there's the little bit on top there. Whereas before, we knew that things and contact had been made. I think we can say that that's concrete, no problem. Everybody's contacting other players' agents, and agents are talking to everybody all of the time. No issue, no drama, nothing serious just yet. But we're getting little bits of news all of the time about this ever-changing. We had the Scott McTominay palaver and garbage about him convincing Garnacho to go. We thought it might be some form of swap deal going on at some point in time. Now Antonio Conte definitely wants him. That's what we talked on last night. And now we're hearing that Garnacho wants to work with Antonio Conte. I mean, look, the threat is real. United will sell Garnacho if the right bid comes in. We all know that. It's why is nobody shutting this down? Like, by now I would have expected a Romano to come out and say that, no, this isn't happening. Definitely no contacts, not on the agenda at all, like he did with Rashford and Napoli. Why has this not been shut down by anybody yet? That's why we're talking about it. And these rumours are going to keep on coming and keep on coming because United have said that nobody is off the table. There isn't any player that's unsellable at Manchester United right now. Barring a couple, I think it was Lenny Yoro and Amad Diallo. But this is where we're at right now. And I've said it. As soon as Kvaratskhelia got sold Kvaratskhelia got sold by Napoli. That was it. Then the ripple effect would be in full effect, and everybody would start hearing stories about their players, possible targets for a Conte, possible replacements for that player. You cannot lose a player of that quality and not reinvest back in at this stage of the season. Someone is going to lose a player. Someone big is going to end up going to Napoli, because they are what? I think the 4 points clear, but I think Inter Milan, I'm pretty certain, have got 2 games in hand. I'm confident about that. So it's on a fine edge right now, that Serie A title. Like, Napoli will bring someone else in. They have to. And they are serious when it comes to talking about Garnacho. They must be, because of reasons that I've just said. But the problem we have got here is, and it does roll into the Rashford situation a little bit, because, yes, I'm going back to what the Athletic said, and we will keep holding them to that, because we're all excited to see exactly who might be brought in at United and who we can actually get in to replace players. Look, it's all moving towards the summer. The summer is where everything is happening. Every time you turn on a TV show, a transfer show, or anything like that, whether it be TalkSport talking about it, whether it be Sky Sports, whoever, they're all saying exactly the same things. It looks like it's going to be a really quiet month for Manchester United in terms of the incomings. It is. Bryan Mbeumo was reported by Fabrice Hawkins earlier on as a top target in January, and he's not the first person to say this for Manchester United and Arsenal. Well, Thomas Frank, after the 2-2 draw last night against Manchester City, has come out and just said no, dead not, no problem at all. He stays until the end of the season. No one is Bryan Mbeumo in January. Another forward gone. Muani gone. All of the other targets that could possibly go in that are of the right quality for Manchester United are gone. There is no one else out there available right now. United don't look like, even though it has been said that Marcus Rashford, if he does go, there is going to be a replacement in. I personally cannot see that happening now. I don't think United will bring anybody in. I really do think that they will stand their ground and not go and be tempted into buying a make weight like we have done before. This is going to be the difference, I feel, when Ineos are in situ compared to what was here at Manchester United before. I just now don't look at it. Like what Thomas Frank said, I believe now that's that one done. Muani was a possibility for United. We're not going to go anywhere near Vlahovic. Obviously, we've managed to keep hold of Zirkzee now. That was prompting a move, possibly. The Garnacho situation just needs to be put to bed, I think, by United. Someone just leak something out and say that Garnacho's not going. That's what we need to, because we do need to actually talk about why these conversations are still going on, why the Italian side of things and the Italian media are still reporting that this is actually moving forward. There must have been some communication. We know that. We said that at the start. There must have been some dialect between. And if Garnacho is open to it, and I said it before, I said it on the lunchtime show, that he will be tempted in. I said it, right? The Maradona effect, Argentinian great at Napoli, the history that's there. Why would you not be intrigued at that prospect? And like I said, like that fan base right behind him, chance to win a trophy instantly, guaranteed Champions League football next season on the big stage, earning double your money probably. That's what's on offer, because apparently the terms agreed would be something along them lines for Garnacho. So everything put into perspective and everything put in on what is actually going down with this right now. You have to just think, right, okay, why are United not closing this down? And I hope that something else comes out. Hopefully one of these journalists will bring up the conversation with Ruben Amorim. Hopefully the embargoed version of the press conference says something so we can just officially put it down and put it to bed. But it keeps on coming out. It does keep on coming out. And people are coming out with opinion pieces and talking about this and saying, well, it is the Italian media. We can't really take it seriously if it is them. Or can we take the English press seriously? Can we take anyone seriously when it comes to it? All we know is there's been about 7 or 8 different accounts, publications, all talking the same thing now about Garnacho, and that he is interested in moving away from United. And we know for certain that United have got a price on Garnacho's head. If this goes on and Napoli don't get a player in, they could easily come in and really test United's resolve here. So there needs to be something put out there. There needs to be something. And I don't know, negotiations might be going on right now. Manchester United might be saying to him, look, just don't even bother unless you're coming in with 60 million. It's as simple as that. I still then don't know how we managed to see out the rest of this season because, like I've just said, maybe it was stuck. Napoli need a player now. I cannot believe they've agreed to sell Kvaratskhelia. They may have in line someone else. I mean, honestly, it was Timo Werner the other day. I cannot believe they've let him go at this stage of the season with what's at stake. I'm absolutely blown away by that transfer. And I said it would have a massive effect. They're chasing something. They need a player. Manchester United are looking to replace players, but are not really in a position to buy anybody in January because of the situation that we're in right now. There is more talk as well. Tottenham have looked at Garnacho. Tottenham have made their interest known to Manchester United. That's another report that's going around at the moment. So United someone just come out and just say, look, no, please. Because I honestly don't think we can afford to let him go right now. I still had hope that you might be able to go for someone like an Mbeumo if you sell Garnacho this window, or go for another striker. It just doesn't look like there's anyone available. So we're not going to go like Osimhen was there, Mbeumo was there. We looked at Vlahovic at one point. Could we have got Gyökeres? No. It's all in the summer. It's going to be a great summer right now, but we have to be open to that news that came out yesterday, and the Daily Telegraph were talking about it as well. Clubs are looking at United's situation. I think it's very, very clear that everybody knows United are struggling for the 2025 PSR and financial fair play timeline. And I think they're going to test United's resolve here to meeting it. Otherwise, we could be getting docked points next season for the 25 season. I think everybody's looking at it right now and saying, we are close. Why would teams be coming for our players and really testing us? And why have we not shut this down? There is something else going on behind the scenes it's not working out in terms of the finances. There's something not right, I don't think. And I think there is concern there. And I keep going back to these stories, and I read into these little stories that you probably wouldn't pay much attention to. But I think it's real. I do believe that this year is the one that United are going to come unstuck with, because this is all of Ten Hag's time at the football club. And we know, Ten Hag has been here. It's been a bit of a disaster. Apart from winning a couple of cups, which gets us nothing money-wise, Manchester United have blown a shed load of money on players and wages. So the next 3 financial years will be all of Ten Hag's era, and I think this is where the club is panicking a little bit, and everybody knows it, I think, which is why we're getting tested in January more than anybody else. And I do believe this is why we've not shut Garnacho down. I think we just want to say no at this point, but honestly, he has to look after himself as well. And there will be part of him, and there will be part of his representation that will be looking at this and saying, look, we do have to look at this and make sure that we're safeguarded in all of this as well. The last thing United need next season is to end up with a point deduction as well. That would be catastrophic for us. I mean, you can see there is an appeal to Garnacho. I mean, there is some stats. Garnacho has averaged 0.5 goals and assists per 90 minutes across his first 3 seasons at Manchester United. That is a better rate than Cristiano Ronaldo managed in his first 3 seasons at the football club. The statos and all of the analysts at football clubs looking at bringing players in who have proper scouting and recruitment networks will look into all of this. This is what teams will be doing with Marcus Rashford as well. And this is what they will look at. They will look at the goals, they will look at the output, they'll look at the position, they'll look at what he does and what he does best. They will be looking at him properly. And I think that, is why we're talking about these 2 players confidently, that something is going to happen in the future. But I actually now, after looking at everything else, looking a bit more deeper into it as well this afternoon, don't really, I pray that we don't sell Garnacho, because I don't want to give up on this season. And I'm looking at options there. And my biggest fear is if something goes wrong with Rashford's deal, which we're going to move on to next, he ends up staying, and Ruben Amorim is forced to integrate him into Manchester United's side simply because we need to add value to him to balance the books again in the summer. And this is the disaster class that Manchester United are dealing with right now and where we're at as a football club. It's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing of where we're actually at. Well, that's the state of play with Garnacho. Until someone big comes out and says that this Garnacho news is nonsense, we need a Romano to come out and say that it's off. Otherwise, we're going to end up keep on talking about this. And it's before you know it, it's going to develop into another story. It's going to develop into something really big. But if he has agreed terms, then can you blame him? He needs to be able to. And do you know what? Players actually do this. They agree terms, but the move's never going to happen. But they just need to know that they can move forward and make an offer. Is this the first sign that Napoli are going to come in with a proper offer to Manchester United? We will see, won't we, going forward. Let's get into the chat anyway. That was quite a lot to get through and dissect. So let's get into some of your comments. Well over 1,300 in the room. Thank you, everybody. Again, absolutely amazing. Keep it up. Make sure you hit the like button as well. We've already got around about 150 in there, just creeping up. Make sure if you haven't already, subscribe. Let's get into a couple of super chats off the mat first of all, and we'll get into all of the chat as well. Carrie MJ, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you. Desiree Lombante, I think you say it that way. Thank you for the super chat. I give 100,000 quid to FUTV members if United buy only one player. No way Glazers and Ineos are doing business this month. That's a shame. Could have done with 1,000 quid, but I think you're right, mate. I think you're right. I'm looking at it right now. I don't see it happening. I had hope that it was going to happen. I really did. But that has been slowly drifting away as the window has gone further on, now into week 3 of the transfer window. And I do believe it is all on the outgoings, and that is it. It is basically making a case to really go and spend big in the summer now. I think that's where United are at. Napoli said no to Osimhen being available in January and made us wait until the summer. Sold Kvaratskhelia without even thinking of offering him in a swap for Ghana, along with difference in player valuations. You would have thought that, wouldn't you? You would have thought, but I think that they've seen the money that PSG are offering for Kvaratskhelia and just took that, and it's worth more than a swap deal. I do. But honestly, again, I need to see more. I still expect someone to come out and say, no, it's not happening. I really do. That's where I'm at with this situation right now with Ghana. It just doesn't work out. It doesn't work out at all. In fact, before we move on to the Rashford one, the news was talking about the Southampton game tomorrow was there is a rumour going around that Ruben Amorim may even try Garnacho and Ahmad as wing-backs tomorrow because he prefers wingers as his wing-backs. Now, Garnacho's got to do an awful lot of work. I ain't got a problem with Ahmad being there. I think he's played the role well and he's still really contributed. Can Garnacho do it? I don't know about that one. That kind of shows you where we're at with Anthony, though, and the hope that we're still trying to move him on. If he can't get a game against Southampton when bleeding Dalot is out, then there's no hope for Anthony, and he's definitely out the door. Like I said before this morning, he's not going to end up going Saudi. Still talking about the Real Betis deal. I think United are haggling over how much money they want to pay for his wages still. But yeah, Garnacho at left wing back, that would be intriguing. Now he can play wide in that position, but has he got the nous and the defensive ability? Maybe with United playing at home to Southampton, who are absolute dog shit, I don't know. But remember what Tyler Dibbling did to Dalot in that first game? Garnacho and his defensive capabilities? It's a little bit of a concern there, but I still think United will have more than enough, no matter who played in what position, to beat a very, very poor Southampton side who are already down. In fact, even Ten Hag managed to beat 3-0 in one of his biggest ever Premier League wins. So definitely confident about that. But that's an interesting one if that does happen tomorrow and Ghana ends up playing at wing-back. Really interesting. Now let's see. I think if Anthony did as much as Garnacho, but on the left, we would be happy with him. I think it's madness. The boys' ceiling is so high. I think it will bite us on the backside. That's if Garnacho is sold. I think that comment there. Yes. Julian says, those Nacho stats are a bit padded against teams like Barnsley. Adam, mate, I know, but they don't look at that. They'll look at all of the games. They have to. And they'll look at things that he can do. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the Italian league is crap, but some of them teams in the lower echelons of that division are poor. They're very poor. So, yeah, I think they'll look at that as like someone who can just completely take a game away from a poor team like that. By the way, one of them teams is Lecce, and Lecce have in their ranks a certain Dorgu, a Patrick Dorgu. Apparently Liverpool are now readying a €40 million bid for Dorgu as well, another United or so-called United target. So that one is interesting as well. Honestly, there's too much going on right now. Other clubs are making their positions very, very strong, but United seem to be left behind with players coming in. Concerned? I'm not too sure. Really not too sure. But hey, onto the Marcus Rashford news and updates. Now, this is looking a little bit more concrete now. Now, we talked earlier on about it being a big 24 hours for Marcus Rashford. We did it on the lunchtime show. We were getting into detail on where this deal was at. Representatives of Marcus Rashford was following up on Manchester United, telling them exactly what deals were on the table, who they'd spoken to. And now Marcus Rashford apparently has made his mind up. Well, there's more news coming out as well from Sebastian Sano, another journalist over there in Italy, saying Marcus Rashford prefers Milan and has already made his choice, but Milan don't want a dry loan. They prefer a loan with option to buy. Clubs are in advanced negotiations. Now, this has been going on all afternoon around Marcus Rashford, and it has developed and developed and developed. And now we're in a position where we know that he's picked Milan. Marcus Rashford would go to Milan unless Barcelona came in with an 11th hour offer. That's what Ben Jacobs was saying earlier on. Now, apparently later this afternoon, Barcelona have come out, or they've not come out, but there have been reports come out about Barcelona trying to move Ansu Fati on from their ranks to make room for Marcus Rashford. Rashford, according to what people have said, would ditch this Milan move now if Barca came in, no matter what. He's an idiot if he does. He really is. AC Milan are prepared to offer him something. The fact that AC Milan want an option to buy Marcus Rashford tells you how serious they are about the project. And Zlatan Ibrahimovic, when he said that they want to build a team around him, they want to sell him the project and make sure that he feels like he is the main man or a massive part of what they're doing over there in Milan, it looks true on that. Manchester United are just open for a loan for now until the end of the season. But AC Milan, apparently, within these negotiations that are going on right now, actually want an option to buy Marcus Rashford, which that seems crazy. But hey, look, if they're fully invested in him, they're showing their cards there. I think if this is what they have to do to convince him to come to them, knowing that Barcelona could be coming knocking, I mean, where would you go? Would you seriously, as Marcus Rashford, just want to have a little bit of a swan song at Barcelona and just to fill your own ego trip, rather than going to a club that is willing to put a whole project on your shoulders and build a team around you? I would not put it past Marcus Rashford to do that. I honestly wouldn't. And I just hope the club talks sense into him, his people talk sense into him, and this just gets done. Like, send him to Milan, subsidise his wages for the rest of this season, make it happen, and then obviously, if he hits a certain mark, the option is triggered, or whatever it is that AC Milan wants to put into this deal. I like it. I like the fact that they're looking to keep him on long term. It's what everybody wants. The only issue with AC Milan going with an option to buy now, the only issue we've got with that is that means that if he does do well, and you know what, like, are we really bothered right now? But just for the sake of thrashing out this deal and how different it could be if there wasn't an option, if he does do well and there's an option in on this deal, then the fee stays the same as what we agree now. So AC Milan, could go in and say, look, there's Marcus Rashford. We're going to pay so-and-so of his wages. You pay the rest. Take him on loan. No problem. If he hits a certain target, if he hits a certain mark, or we finish in a certain position, then we will buy him for X amount of money. Well, that X amount of money right now, while his stock is low and the agreement is being made right now before he's kicked a ball, it's not going to be that good. It's not going to be that good. If United loan him, dry loan, as the media over in Italy are calling it, straightforward, with no option or obligation, and he comes back to United, Rashford does well, then United can name the price. And I think this is where the club is at. Do you risk Marcus Rashford being the Marcus Rashford we've seen the last 18 months? Or do you bank on him, this new lease of life, being the Marcus Rashford that was in Ten Hag's first season 2 seasons ago, where he scored 30 goals? Which Rashford's going to turn up in Milan? You cannot take that risk. I think if there is an option, go for it. Make it about 40 million. Cover yourselves. You're not going to get much more. You really are. He's a 50 million max player if he has a good season now. Let's not forget, this guy hasn't kicked a ball for nearly 6 weeks. He's not kicked a ball since the start of December. So 8 games down now, Marcus Rashford. 9 tomorrow without playing at all. He's rusty. He's going to have to find his feet. Before you know it, it's coming to the end of February. And then you're into the later stages of the season and he's still not got going yet. I just think it's too risky to not take an option. Which way would you go right now? I mean, tell me, right, even in the chat, which Marcus Rashford is going to turn up at AC Milan? The one from the last 2 seasons, including this one, or the one from the season before, which was his one mega season at United? And even that was just a half a season after we got back from the World Cup, if you remember. Which one is going to turn up? Honestly, my money would be, and the way that he is conducting himself at the moment, mine would be the duckhead Marcus Rashford. That's where it would be for me. And I would be saying, if there's an option here, then I'm definitely going, yeah, we'll take the option. 40 million, something like that, if he hits the mark and you buy him at the end of the season. I think it makes complete sense. We've got just under 1,800 in the room. Make sure you've hit the subscribe button. Only 236 likes. How is that possible with nearly 1,800 in the room, everybody? Please like the video, show some appreciation. I know you love it. We're getting into the chat right now. If you're not subscribed, you can't get in the chat, so you might as well. Boxing Straight Talk, good to have you in, my friend. We need to stop loaning players out and paying their wages. Full wages covered only, or let him rot in the reserves. Again, we can't, mate. I describe this, and where I get that, and the stance United should take, and we are in control, not you, they want to sell him. And if they let him rot in the reserves, he's worth jack shit in the summer. And that's the problem we've got. We need to sell him. Loans have to happen right now. In the future, I'm with you, mate. Completely with you. But I don't see this being rectified and sorted until maybe 2 or 3 years into Ineos's time at the football club. Eventually, these big wage-earning players will be gone. And Manchester United can move forward with their new structure in place. I think that's sensible. And you look at it from where we're at right now. Look, we're just trying to move players on. And this is never and was never going to be easy to do straight away, I don't think. So I think that's what we're looking at. And realistically, nobody is going to pay all of Marcus Rashford's wages. They're really not. United could get lucky and Milan could blame everything on Rashford being out of football shape and still buy him in the summer. Yeah, I'm looking to get the super chat you got, Ross. Thank you for that, mate. I don't think United are that lucky, honestly. Really not. But yeah, Barcelona coming in with this late bid could possibly scupper any deal though as well. That's a bit scary. We can do it. Can't expect someone to buy that. At least he needs to go on loan. Bad energy doesn't help us. He has to go. I'm with you on that one. He has to go. Got to take the option over straight loan. No guarantee with that, but it's better, especially they want him. Look, the fact that they really want to put everything into Marcus Rashford tells United we need to be pushing onto that AC Milan deal just to get him out of the football club. We need him gone. And if Milan are looking this keen, we need to just push onto that and make it happen. Losing his England place did not spur him on. New manager did not spur him on. Let's hope a move gets him going again. wouldn't count on it, Jonathan, but we all know what he's like. We do. Oh, God, like, seriously, like, where is his head at? Where is it? Julian, welcome to the Members Club. Gifted by London. If Amin wants to keep Garnacho, then keep him. If he wants to sell him, then sell him. Obviously. Thanks for that, Joe. Let's see what we've got in here. Could Manchester United put in a release clause? They could put anything in. I fully expect Manchester United to be putting all sorts of clauses into every single one of these players' deals. The ones that we sell anyway. And do you know what? Look at it. Like, look at the situation at the moment. Look where Manchester United are actually at. look where the demographic is at the moment in terms of players. Like the summertime, we've got 25 million coming for Jadon Sancho. We could have something towards that in terms of what we get from AC Milan for Marcus Rashford, like we've just discussed. That could work for Manchester United as well. And then you're looking at, obviously, we talked about Garnacho, but what players do United actively want? If we lose Garnacho now, we lose Rashford, but then you're bringing in players like Gyökeres and Ederson, then you're really not bothered, are you? I think it's the scare factor right now of not knowing what's going to come, and we're selling all of these players. We did some reports yesterday. Good luck to Bayern Kerry as well, who's just had surgery. It looked like an arm injury I had no idea about. I really didn't. I'm just reading up on it. Where is this one from? I've just got a report come through right now. I don't know if this is genuine. Right, looks like someone has been interviewing Fabrizio Romano. I wanted some clarification on this, but I don't know if this is true. But from Romano, I've just been sent this now. Garnacho is a dream deal for Napoli. Napoli values him highly internally. Napoli are realistic and know that United will ask for a high sum and not numbers like 35 and 40 million euros. Conte loves Garnacho and considers him the dream deal. If that has come out of Romano, has that really come from Romano? That's a creditable source there that's reposting that has done it before. And you wouldn't quote Romano on that if he hasn't said it. If that is genuine, and that pretty much tells me everything that I was wanting to, but I don't know. I'm looking at it, and he has linked Romano directly to it. So I'm just going to do a little bit of scouting quickly while we're on live, just to check that this is genuinely come from Romano. But it looks like he's been doing an interview. Arsenal want to sign a striker and are chasing Juventus, Dusan Vlahovic, Sporting's Victor Gyökeres and RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko. That news has come out again on the transfer side of things. Again, like me not hearing anything on Garnacho is worrying me that something is actually happening with him. No one's saying no. Everybody's saying yes. There's usually a counter, and this always happens on big deals. So if Romano has come out in an interview and said that Napoli are aware of the situation and they do want to look further into Garnacho, then we have to start talking about it seriously. I did touch on Brian Mbumo earlier on about what Thomas Frank was saying, and this is why I was worried about Garnacho and Rashford. Well, not so much Rashford, but Garnacho in particular, especially if they did leave in the summer. If they left in January, we would be out. We would be without any forwards because Thomas Frank's come out and said that Brian Mbumo's going nowhere. Obviously, Mwani's gone already. We don't really want Vlahovic because we've got Xerxes, and that was the whole deal behind that. I don't know where United go with it from there. But yeah, I will do some digging on that Romano one if he has said that in any interview. I'm sure that other aggregator accounts will jump onto this as well. But we've been waiting, and my whole point about the top of the show saying that this is real for Garnacho and there is a serious consideration coming from the club to sell him is that it's, yes, come from Italian sources, predominantly Italian sources, but they haven't been knocked back. And people would say, look, how serious and how reliable are Italian news outlets? As reliable as bleeding English ones. That's what we would say, because all we do is laugh all day long about it. Garnacho, oh yeah, it is real. Let me just check. I've just seen another one. Romano has said this now. So yeah, it's genuine, everybody. It was right. Alejandro Garnacho is a dream signing for Napoli. They really appreciate him internally. Romano was basically rubber stamped that Napoli are interested and want Garnacho. It's just come out right now. Romano. I'll read it out again just so you're clear. Romano has said this. Alejandro Garnacho is a dream signing for Napoli. They really appreciate him internally and believe he is perfect for them. Garnacho is also the dream signing for Antonio Conte, who is in love with the player. Napoli are being realistic. They know Manchester United want big money, not 35 to 40 million euros, which has already been apparently put on the table. The transfer depends on Napoli's budget and if they want to invest big money. Holy shit balls, then it is actually happening. If Napoli are going to put money on the table and Romano's saying that it's all on Napoli, then we have to take this seriously. And the news that came out earlier on about Garnacho actually agreeing terms on a contract actually look really genuine right now. I can't believe that that's just come out while we were live. I mean, I thought I was going to come on tonight. I'm looking at these sources and everyone's going to shoot it down. Like I did make a point about saying, look, Italian sources, can we trust them? It now looks like a very famous Italian is saying that this is a genuine thing. Wowza. Okay. That does throw a cat amongst the pigeons a little bit then, doesn't it? Especially if we're not going to be able to bring anybody in. I.e., yes, we may have the money if Garnacho is sold, but nobody's going to sell. Does that automatically prompt Manchester United to dip into the academy? Yep. People tweeting, retweeting, and going double down on this. Fabrizio Romano confirms Napoli want Garnacho. Everything we've been saying has been 100% right. I didn't like the fact that we was right, but we are. It does look like Garnacho has communicated with Napoli after all. And Napoli are concrete. They are interested in Garnacho. Wowza, wowza, wowza. That is all interesting and it's moving on very, very quickly right now. Let's just say that. And I think now that Romano said that as well, it's going to start moving to a completely new level. What do we think, everyone? Now that it looks like it's serious for Garnacho, what are your thoughts right now? What's running through your head? Talk to me, everyone. Get into the chat, please. We're still waiting for Saudi to clear players to move Casemiro there. Yes. Also heard that the Saudis might be interested in Antony. He doesn't want to go. I'll just shut them both down there. Right, that. Waiting for players to move for Casemiro, but Antony's definitely not going, mate. 100% certain on that one. He was even offered an agent who would definitely guarantee him a move. He turned that down, declined it, and wanted to go through the club sources. Didn't want an intermediate, didn't want a middleman, basically. The reality is he will leave for Madrid later anyway. So get the money now and get a sell-on fee. It's a good point, Antoinette. It's a very, very good point that United will look at this and go, if he does move on in the future at an early age, we could really cash in on him. So really get 50 to 60 million at a 30 to 50% sell-on clause. You probably won't get much dealing with Napoli, I'm guessing. Maybe get that in. And then you're looking at really making some money later down the line as well. It's a safe investment is what we're saying, really. I think that's what it is. Please keep liking the video. We should be over 400 likes now. We should really, with about 1,800 in the room, be on 500 likes. And getting your comments in on Garnacho and that bombshell news that Romano has confirmed everything we've been saying, that Napoli are concrete and fully interested in Garnacho. They want him. Antonio Conte wants him. We said it yesterday. Half of us were thinking, really, is it true? Well, now it is. And he is the real signing for them. A real deal, as Romano has called it. Let's get some more in there. Stern Love says, we can't let it go and not replace. Can't let him go and not replace him. If he goes without replacement, then it will be Ineos out for me. If no one's willing to sell, then what can we do? They cannot buy Nacho without moving Osimhen. No, they can, because they've already moved Kvaratskhelia. That's a simple fact. And Osimhen will go in the summer. Maybe United say, look, okay, Osimhen doesn't want to move. This is what I would do right now. Osimhen doesn't want to move right now. He wants to honour his deal at Galatasaray. Okay, fair enough. Right, he goes back to you in the summer. We sell Garnacho to you right now. We want a cut-down price for Osimhen and guaranteed our player in the summer then. First refusal on Osimhen. Would that not make sense? I know I'm playing a little bit of Championship Manager again here and trying to do things, but if they're desperate for him and they don't want to bid the world for him, and let's say they come in with 45 million, with add-ons up to 60 in time of performances, and United get a guarantee and cut price on Victor Osimhen, then you're talking a different ball game, aren't you? Then you're talking clever business. The only problem is still, like many people have picked up in the chat, is that this season we're still going to be short. And there lies the problem. What's more important, the future, or United actually needing to do something this season to provide a future? Because we cannot ignore this season. I said it earlier on. United need to be going for both cups. And if we do get into the Champions League, everybody always, you don't need me to tell you. If we make it into the Champions League, United's transfer window completely opens up. And it becomes a lot easier and a lot simpler for us to make deals. But if Napoli are really pushing on this, then yeah. It's like Leo says there, all of a sudden, I said this the other day, great super chat, Leo. If United sell Garnacho right now, go and buy Jonathan David to 20 million euros. Because Leo, I don't think, could turn that deal down because he goes for a free in the summer. No one else is paying anything for him this month. And then you've got Jonathan David. You get the guarantee of Osimhen possibly in the summer if you want to do a deal with Napoli and take him. And then all of a sudden, you've got two very good bits of business done before you've even gone into the summer. And you're ready to hit the ground running next season. Jonathan David will give us as much, if not more, than what Garnacho would in a number 10 role. Or / number 9 if you want to bring Rasmus Højlund out and rest him. Honestly, there are things that can be done. United need to get a move on now, though, because Napoli's interest is real. We've said it before. Kvaratskhelia being sold has definitely caused everyone a problem, and I think it's got everyone else thinking outside the box right now, and it's time United caught up. Agree, Adam, Champions League is key, but we need players now. Would you take Jonathan David right now if we got him at a cheap price? I would. If it meant that we could negotiate something in with Napoli to say if you want Garnacho, then we want Osimhen cheap in the summer. First refusal. Something like that. Make it happen. Play the game. That's what we've got to do. You've got to play the game. Just checking, yeah. That story about Tottenham registering an interest in Garnacho. Like, seriously? Go away. Not a chance in hell. He would never go to Tottenham anyway. So we don't need to worry about that deal. We're still laughable, innit? We can have a joke about it. Nearly 1,900 in the room. Thank you, everybody. This Garnacho news has really kick-started a real conversation right now. I'm going to get into more of that. Please give the video a like. We're well over 400 right now. Let's see if we can get to 5, everybody. Let's break the record again, please, for the day. I think we've already done it in this show for live likes, but let's just smash it out the park while we're at it. Have a great day from Dominican Republic, everyone. 91 and hot here. Thanks for that, Joe. I was there last year, actually. God, that takes me back. Talking about bleeding Ten Hag and whether he was going to be sacked or not. Oh, remember them days. Spursy thinking they can nick our players. I know, boxing, I'm with you. Have a laugh about it. Amarim's got his players sorted for Jan. He needs to sell players now. Need money for Jan. Yeah, okay, got you on that one. Does that mean Rashford stays and Garnacho goes? Absolutely ridiculous. No, it doesn't. Rashford will go no matter what. I think that has to be said. Rashford will definitely be out of the door. I think that deal has just been negotiated. That's a no-brainer. I think if Garnacho goes, I expect someone to come in. I expect United, like Leo said there in the chat. I was talking about the other day. It didn't even come into my mind on this show, but just go and get Jonathan David cheap right now and secure that number 10 position and back up for 9. Then go and get Osimhen in the summer. There's deals that can be made there. I don't know if United are. Well, they've got to be, aren't they? They've got to be thinking about it, surely. Collier would replace Casemiro. You'd need replacements for Rashford and Antony, who could go on loan. And Garner, we're 3 players down. Yes. Yes, indeed. That would be the conundrum. That would be the question that I think everybody would want the club to answer. Like, who comes in for these players? You cannot just get rid of them because they're crap and they're annoying. You do need to replace them. It's as simple as that. But I don't know. I really don't. Let's just get a few more in before we finish up. Mr. Dassi Sandero, absolutely no way should we be selling Garnacho. With all these players who are subject to move, Garnacho is one that shouldn't be. This is down to the last regime, and we are going to lose him. Look, recovering from mismanagement and sheer, lack of experience in certain roles at this football club has led us to this point. How many times have we said it? It is a joke. How good is Jonathan David? He's better than what we've got up front right now. That's what I'll tell you. 17 goals and I think 4 assists this season, with 4 goals and 1 assist in the Champions League. Goals coming against Real Madrid, Juventus, Atletico Madrid. He doesn't just do it in Liga, and he does it in the Champions League, and his conversion rate is exceptional. He can play 10 and 9. And you could get him for around about 20 million euros. Snap! As they say. And that is our show tonight, everybody. Legends, every one of you, thank you so much. Really enjoyed that. We are obviously going to be back 8 o'clock. I think it might be actually 10 to 8 tomorrow morning, everybody. Slightly early one again. Make sure that you're there with all of your updates. I expect things to move along tonight. I'm having a night off tonight, hopefully. So I will bring you all the news, do all the research for you, and bring you completely up to date in the morning. So let's keep an eye out on what happens with this Garnacho news now. And Rashford, it looks like 2 moves are moving very, 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 very quickly. Welcome to the Members Club, Simon. Gifted by London. Thank you for that. Just to finish the show off with a bang. I will see you all in the morning, everybody. Have a fantastic evening.